let's talk about this.
Yeah.
I brought it up to you. I've been watching a lot. As you guys know, I've been watching a lot of podcast stuff. There's a lot of podcasts out there. I had no idea that existed. And I feel so stupid. Anyway, I told you about this little beef that between two comedians. I'd never heard of it. I said it to you and you go, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. So I watched this video. It was about Bert Kreischer going on Rogan real early. And Rogan's like, yo, this is the funniest guy. This story is amazing. And he was on the tour. Bert Kreischer was on tour with Jay Mohr. He was his opener. And Jay Mohr at the time was, popping. He was in that movie, Mafia, I think it was.
Dude, I remember the first time you told that fucking story. When you were describing it earlier, it just hit you now? How their setup was. They were all just looking at not each other.
Yeah, the first Rogan setups were like, it was terrible looking. It was a dark room. The dudes were 70 feet away. They were all looking in one direction. Yeah. But like, now it's the biggest show in the world. There's so much room for progression. People got to remember, like, yo, you could grow. What if we look different next year? What if we change the show up a little bit next year, like we were talking about?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things me and Marty want to do, and we're going to do them.
I've been watching Rogan since before it was on fucking YouTube. I designed a Joe Rogan Ustream layout.
Damn.
2010. That's what we're talking about. The shit used to be on Ustream. In those Bert Kreischer days we're talking about here.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. So Bert Kreischer, Rogan's like, come on, tell us, talk about it. You could tell he talked about it off camera and didn't want to talk about it. Rogan's like, no, come on, bring it up, man. Kind of like, let it out. I swear, I'll send you the clip. And apparently, there's Bert Kreischer was a doorman at the Boston Comedy Store, and he was trying to be a comedian still. And one night, him and Tracy Morgan played, and he's like, yo, cool, come, you're hanging out with me. Let's go smoke a blunt. And he told Bert Kreischer there's PCP in it. So he started freaking out. They were at this restaurant. He bought like 60 bottles for all these bitches. They were doing all this shit. And then at the end of the night, the waiter came up and gave the bill to Bert Kreischer. And then Tracy Morgan's like, that's racist. I'm the rich one here. This for the doorman. And he punched the waiter in the face. And then they started like roughing him up with the security. And they threw him out. And he said Bert Kreischer bounced as soon as he punched him in the face. Like, oh, I'm out of here. F that. Walked outside, waited for him. Then he said they threw Tracy Morgan out. And then the next thing, they opened the door. They threw his shirt and it landed on his face, kind of like a comedy movie. And he said he picked it up. And he goes, and that's how you get out of paying for the bill, right?
Yeah.
So Bert Kreischer told that story off camera to Jay Mohr. And Jay Mohr is like, tell that on stage right now. You need to start talking to that on stage. And he said, Bert Kreischer said, no, you do a better Tracy Morgan impersonation. You tell it on stage. So Jay Mohr starts it off like, yo, so my friend Bert, I got to tell you a story. What happened to Bert? This is too good. Just like a comedic, like a funny story. And it started to get, like, people loved it. And then Bert Kreischer, Jay Mohr went on Opie and Anthony, and told the story from first person. Said, so one time I was with Tracy Morgan, and he said, yo, that's how you get out of paying the bill, Jay Mohr, and kind of flipped it to where it's like, yo, it's not Bert's story. It's now Jay Mohr's story. And I guess Bert was all hurt about it, told Rogan, like, yo, that fool stole my story, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's start the podcast. At the end of the podcast, he's like, hey, remember that shit you told me off camera? We're talking about it. And Bert Kreischer's like, no, let's not talk about it. And he did anyway. So basically, they put Jay Mohr on blast hard. And then everybody started thinking that he was a joke thief. I watched all of this, and I see from both perspectives. But then you hear that Jay Mohr like slapped Bert Kreischer in the face a few times in front of people. And it's more of like, oof. It sounds a little more like Bert Kreischer telling the fucking truth.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I watched that. It was a crazy ass beef that I didn't even know existed.
I didn't even know about that.
I watched The Machine. Did I tell you?
The movie?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me about it if you did.
It was funny.
Nice.
It was a good action movie.
Nice.
Watch The Machine. Give it a chance. I thought it was. There's a part in there where a guy gets punched in the neck. I don't know how no action movie has ever done that before. It was the grossest thing I've ever seen. It was so disgusting.
Did they go over the top a lot? Was it like a over the top
movie? If you went to Russia with the mob, I expect all of those things probably to happen.
Gotcha.
It was pretty on point. It was kind of like the way Pineapple Express. You're like, oh, weed movie. Damn, that fool's murdered. Yeah, holy shit, That guy got his arm blown off.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, this is shockingly graphic.
Yeah, that's what I need out of a movie.
You should watch The Machine, man.
No
it
shit.
was actually it was good. Mm-hmm. It was good. Like Bert Kreischer, I'm like, yo, he's not an actor. But doing a great job. It's fine.
It's
this is fine
horrible in theaters, but then great on Netflix, right?
I don't know. It was cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a good comedic.
It's not like Bert's not an actor. Like it's not a stretch for him to be the lead.
No, all he's doing is like being him.
He's playing himself.
He's playing himself, and his dad's Luke Skywalker. So it was good, man. It was cool. Go watch The Machine. I thought it was funny.
It's the first podcaster really
To make a fucking action movie
off a story from a podcast.
Yeah, it was an action movie, bro.
Yeah,
it was cool.
So he won that war with Jay Mohr.